Well, welcome back to the Coburg Lawn Bowling Club, and this week we're going to look at the year 2018. I had hoped to have the 2018 president, Carol Dewey, with me today, but unfortunately Carol's suffering from laryngitis, so you're stuck with me once again. Anyway, 2018 was quite a momentous year. We had two major events, non-bowling events, and also we had a major bowling event with an Ontario Provincial Championship. But anyway, more of that later. We're going to kick off straight away this week with a look at the 2018 Club Tournament Champions. Coaches' Cup winners that year were Bazana Brick, John Harisco and Nancy Fargo. In Spectacular Water Systems, we had Ann Tuff, Jerry Childs and Bazana Brick once again. The Cutthroat Trophy that year was won by Steve Haslam, and on the Canada Day it was the case of Cash Eddy, Emily Smith and yours truly. The Windmill Trophy was won by David Brister and Maureen Randall, and David featured again, winning the anniversary tournament, this time with Marilyn McMillan, Mary Thibault and Helen Beaton. Novices tournament that year were Dave Thixon, Carl Ferguson and John Saunders. And moving on to the singles, Eve Gorringe was the ladies winner and I was the men's winner that year. Sadie Hawkins wrapped up the season as usual, and here we have two big guys and a tiny little lady. Harry Napper, Bev Sydenham and Dave Shirley. What a great photo. Well, congratulations to all those who won tournaments in 2018. As I said at the start, there are actually quite a lot of things going on in that year, but some of them started back in 2017. The club executive had identified the need for new equipment, and it was decided that we should put in a New Horizons for Seniors grant application. Carol Dewey and Donna Ball, our treasurer, did an awful lot of work on that application. You might think it's a fairly easy thing, but it doesn't. It takes a lot of time. You have to make sure that all the correct boxes are ticked and that you've got a good standard of application. So they did that in the summer of 2017, and then we sat back and waited. All these projects have to have a formal name, and this project was called Bowling for Life, which seemed very suitable for a sport where you can bowl from a young age to an old age. When we were talking about Carol becoming president, she said, I remember her saying to me that, well, she goes away all winter to Florida, so she couldn't really be president. And we said, that's okay, Carol. Nothing happens in the winter. Well, that winter was quite different. Carol was home for a little while between Christmas and New Year, and she picked up a message on her voicemail, and it was Kim Rudd's office. And when she replied to that message, she found out that our grant application had been successful. She told me at the time she nearly burst into tears. She was so happy. There were actually quite a lot of documents to be sorted out before everything could be finalised. We entered into a formal agreement with the federal government in respect of the grant, and then finally in April an announcement was made here at the club by Kim Rudd, our MP, to formally announce the award of the grant, and that was attended by various members of the media. Unfortunately, Donna and Carol, who'd done all the work, were still in Florida, so it fell to Nan Hendren and I to get the glory. Of course, the next thing was to get all the equipment ordered, and in April and May it all started to arrive. Before we'd even made the case for the new equipment, we'd recognised that we were running out of space. The old garage was, shall we say politely, not in its best condition, and we had the little hut next door where we were storing the mats and everything. So we'd identified back in 2017 that we would need new storage space, and we had started fundraising for a new garage. As Nan mentioned in the last video, we did a bit of fundraising at the anniversary dinner at the mill with a silent auction, and in addition to that we'd had various donations from members. 2018 saw the remainder of the fundraising. We had a garage sale at the beginning of the season, but the big clincher for getting the money for the new garage was a grant from the Rotary Club of Coburg. We had applied to them for a $10,000 grant, and we heard in the early part of the season that that had been approved. And Carol and I attended a Rotary lunch and received the cheque. And that meant we could finally go ahead with all the plans for the new garage. The major bowling event of 2018 was in July, when we hosted the Ontario Mixed Pairs Championships. We had already hosted the district playdowns here in Coburg, and we're pleased that Bob Bates and Pat Bylock had qualified as the winners of that and would be appearing on their home turf for the Ontario Championships. Now there's a lot of work goes into organising a championship like that. We had the experience of doing the juniors in 2016, but nonetheless, as I say, there was still a lot of work to do. We had to look at such things as the arrangements for practice and a reception before the event started. We had to organise the food for the visitors and for the players. We had to get a programme together, arrange an opening ceremony, and of course, as always, we tried to get as much publicity as we could for the event. As I mentioned previously, Bob Bates and Pat Bylock were playing, and it was great to have a Coburg team playing in the provincials here at our club. Unfortunately, they didn't qualify for the medal rounds, but still had a good tournament. What I'd like to do is actually read you something that Carol wrote to the members after the tournament. So this is what she said. Well, we did it. Coburg Lawn Bowling Club successfully hosted the Provincial Mixed Pairs Championship. It was a great team effort by many. Louisa and Bill Arthur kept the play organised and running smoothly. Charlanne Milligan and Dave Shirley did an excellent job umpiring. The greens were in terrific shape thanks to the grounds crew led by Mike Hendren. And the food, Donna Ball and Mary Thibault started things off with a delicious spread for all who were there late Friday afternoon. Mary also organised all the food for the 2 days, and thanks to the many members who donated salads, etc., our garage fund will have a healthy lift towards our goal. Steve Haslam and Ken Bevan did yeoman's service doing the greens early in the morning, then returned at lunchtime to barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs. A bevy of our members were there to flip the score charts, and Nan Hendren and I had the pleasure of presenting the gold medals and championship trophy to Joe Green and Erin Chambers of the Balmy Beach Lawn Bowling Club. Congratulations to all the bowlers for a job well done. On behalf of the Executive Committee, I want to thank you all for your support and your contributions. I wish you could all have been there to hear the comments from people from across the province for such a good championship. We should be proud. We also had, in the early part of the 2018 season, a really good coaching session. We arranged for Mary Lou Santos, who's an OLBA coach, to come down to the club for a day, and we had 2 excellent sessions with Mary Lou. The first morning session was on weight and line, and in the afternoon we had a session for vices, learning about all their responsibilities and such things as measuring. Carol organised a really successful anniversary dinner that year, whereas the previous year we'd been to the Mill. In 2018 she arranged it at the Yacht Club at Coburg Harbour, and that was an excellent event, and we had the opportunity to take a photograph of Carol cutting a cake. At the beginning of 2018 season, the town of Coburg held its annual Civic Awards, and we were delighted that 3 club members were recognised by the town at that time. Ben Van Stein received a Distinguished Award for his curling. Bailey Van Stein received the Leighton Dodge Sportsperson of the Year Award, and Charlanne Milligan received a Distinguished Award for Education and Athletics. Bailey Van Stein continued her national success. As a member of Team Canada, she went on her first overseas trip to Wales to play in a 10 Nations International. She played in triples and she played in fours, and I'm delighted to say in the fours tournament she came home with a bronze medal. Although Carol couldn't be here today, I think we've covered everything she asked me to talk about, with one exception, is that she asked me to record her thanks to the Executive Committee for helping her throughout 2018. Without their help she couldn't have had such a successful presidential spell. One thing I haven't mentioned, which Carol didn't actually mention, is that Carol was successful in the Wicks Ladies Triples Tournament that year, the second year that we'd had a Coburg team. If you remember from last week, Nan had won it in 2017, so Carol did it in 2018. So I think it must be a presidential thing, but I've never won it. Oh, hang on. Well, that's about it for the year 2018, and in fact that's about it for this series of retrospective videos. I'm not going to do 2019 because I did one as recently as last December, and if you have forgotten what happened in 2019, go back and watch that video again. I've enjoyed doing these videos, and I've been pleased by the response I've got. I hope it's kept you engaged to some extent during this period when we haven't got any bowling. Donna Longman and I are currently looking at doing some historical stuff which would hopefully be of interest to current members and perhaps a wider audience in the town of Coburg as well. Anyway, I'm going to play you out with a few scenes from the 2018 season, and appropriately enough we will finish off with a shot of our President Carol Dewey doing a little bit of dancing and jigging at the Tuesday night jitney to the sound of the Town of Coburg Concert Band. So thanks for watching again. Hopefully we'll be on these lovely greens soon, but until then, take care and stay safe.